Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
What you are going to learn: general introduction about cleaning validation, advantages of cleaning validation, cleaning mechanism, cleaning agents, and cleaning validation program. So cleaning validation, it is a documented evidence that provides us a high degree of evidence that one can consistently clean a system or a piece of equipment to predetermine an acceptable limit. Okay, so now pharmaceutical preparation can be degraded due to the factors like residue of cleaning agent, airborne materials such as dust, particulate matter, lubricants, etc. So for the is proper cleaning is required to ensure the high degree of products quality, and also the equipment, the machinery, or any system which is involved in manufacturing product should not interfere and should not adversely affect the product's quality. This is what we have to ensure in cleaning validation. What are the advantages of cleaning validation? Advantages, it ensures, the very first thing is the good quality of the product, prevents cross contamination, maintains product's integrity, and it reduces the cost, because things sustain when we maintain the thing. So we can say that the cost is, overall cost is reduced, and the less downtime and fewer batch failures, and efficient, the procedure is more efficient, and regular cleaning also ensures the good equipment working throughout of its life cycle. Cleaning mechanisms. Okay, a cleaning action, basically mechanisms, the basic procedure which is used in cleaning refers to the physical actions like scrubbing, brushing, and pressurized water which removes the particles contained forcefully. Okay, chemical reaction, okay, such as oxidation, if it is oxidation is going on, or hydrolysis, in which the residues are chemically changed. Dissolution, it involves the dissolving the residual content in a suitable solvent. Okay, now most commonly water is used, which is easily available, non-toxic, it is an environment friendly. Okay, in some cases non-aqueous solutions are also used for this purpose. We can take example of acidic alkaline solution that can increase the dissolution process of some material. Detergency, okay, fine. Detergency, it involves the use of surfactants, okay, which works as a wetting agent, solubilizer, okay, and emulsifier and dispersant. Cleaning agents, okay, there are number of cleaning agents which are of standard one and recommended by the governing body, and the standard cleaning agents, they must facilitate the easy cleaning and should be removed easily. Okay, now accepted limits for detergent residue after cleaning should be defined prior to its use. Okay, and possibly possibility of detergent breakdown should also be considered when validating cleaning procedures. Example of cleaning agents are like organic solvents, okay, acetone, methanol, ethyl acetate, aqueous cleaning water, surfactant, sodium lauryl sulfate, fatty acids, okay, chillants, EDTA, bases, okay, acids and oxidants. So these are few examples of cleaning agents. Okay, next is cleaning validation program. Now, selection of cleaning level, type A and type B. So this type of cleaning takes place between two batches of same product for the different strength of same product. Okay, for this type of cleaning, validation is not required as cross contamination doesn't occur. Type 2 of cleaning takes place between two product. Okay, two product for B type cleaning validation must to check the effectiveness of the cleaning procedure. Next is selection of cleaning method. Okay, clean in place method. This is CIP. Okay, clean in place method. Okay, now without disassembling the product, cleaning of equipment is performed. Okay, this is first requirement. Next is cleaning process may be controlled manually or by automated program. Very consistent and reproducible cleaning method it is, and it can be validated readily. Second is clean out place, COP method. Okay, CIP method, COP method. COP, cleaning out place method. Okay, the equipment or the machine is disassembled first and then cleaning is performed in a central washing machine. Okay, the washing machine also requires validation such as taking care of its temperature, ultrasonic activity, cycle time, so and cleaning operation sequence and the detergent quantity which is going to be used. Manual cleaning requires proper washroom design with drying, protection and storage, detailed cleaning SOPs. Okay, manual cleaning is difficult to validate. Sampling method. Okay, cleaning, this is the third part of cleaning validation program. Sampling method. Okay, swab sampling. Okay, it is the direct sampling which is based on the physical removal of the residue left over on a piece of equipment after it has been cleaned and dried. Okay, a swab wetted with solvent is rubbed over a previously determined sample surface to remove any potential residue and thereafter extracted into a known volume of solvent in which the contaminant active ingredient residue is soluble. Okay, and then the amount of contaminant per swab is determined by analytical method. Advantage, surface contamination is directly evaluated. Okay, advantage of this method. Second is insoluble or poorly soluble substance may be physically removed. Third one is hard to clean but accessible areas are easily incorporated. Disadvantage, cannot be easily implemented on the large scale manufacturing and evaporation results obtained for a small sample surface area to the product contact surface area. Okay, rinse sampling. This method is on an analytical determination of the sample of the last rinsing solvent used in the cleaning procedure. Okay, the volume used for the last rinse may be known to allow for the quantitative determination or contamination. Advantages, sampling can be easily done. Okay, and complete surface area of the component can be evaluated, and accessibility of all equipment part to the rinsing solvent best fitted to sealed or large scale equipment and equipment which is not easily or routinely disassembled. Disadvantages of this method: no physical removal of contaminant, the rinsing solvent may not reach inaccessible or occluded part of the equipment, and use of organic solvent for water insoluble material. Okay, use of inorganic solvents for water insoluble material. So these are the disadvantages. Now in the cleaning validation program, sampling, location and number of samples. This is very important. From where the sampling is done, that is sampling location and the number of samples to be collected. Okay. Now the sample locations are dictated by the worst case condition. The equipments which are hard to clean locations are identified based on the cleaning experiences, based on the routine cleaning experiences and the design of the equipment. Okay, so it is already identified in prior that these equipments, they are hard to clean, and so it is already known. So the number of samples should take into consideration the equipment surface area, design, shape, operating principles and construction material. Okay, so sample surface area usually it varies from 25 square centimeter to 100 square centimeter. Cleaning validation program. In cleaning validation program, we are in the next point, which is a selection of scientific basis for the contamination limit. Okay, so what will be the acceptance criteria? There are three approaches basically. Approach 1, which is dose criterion, and no more than 0.1% of the normal therapeutic dose of the product will appear in the maximum daily dose of subsequent product. This is approach 1. Approach 2, which is 10 ppm criterion. Okay, criterion. No more than 100 ppm of one product will appear in another product. And what is approach 3? Approach 3 is visually clean criterion. Okay, so no residue should be visible on equipment after cleaning. The very simple thing, approach 3. Okay, spiking studies also determine the concentration at which the most active ingredients are visible. The criterion may not be suitable for high potency and low doses drug. The acceptance limit calculation for chemical residue is based on dose criteria and 10 ppm criteria. So minimum value obtained among these two criterion shall be selected as L1. Okay, so dose calculation for dose and 10 ppm criteria is given. Okay, it is given as per the dose criteria. There have been a number of examples of industry guidance document implementing some form of toxicology based approach proposed by Dr. Hall. Okay. So now, dear students, this is bit, you have to understand it properly. So just concentrate and listen that no observed effect level, NOEL, refers to the amount of drug in mg that does not have any effect on human health. That is called NOEL. So NOEL is equal to LD50 multiplied by 70 kg divided by 2000. Now what it is, where LD50 is the lethal dose for 50% of animal population in study, NOEL is no observed effect level, and 70 kg is average average adult dose, and 2000 is a constant. So this is a formula. Okay, next is NOEL is used to calculate the MACO. Now what is MACO? MACO is maximum allowable carry over. So MACO for L1 is equal to NOEL A multiplied by MBS divided by SF and multiplied by TDDB. Now what are the abbreviations? NOEL is no observed effect level, MBS is maximum batch size, TDD is total daily dose, SF is safety factor, A is previous product and B is for incoming product. So as per 10 ppm criteria, we can calculate MACO by using this formula. So dear student, just go through the formula and its description. Okay, so this way we can calculate the MACO, maximum allowable carry over factor. So MACO, limit of product A per square centimeter surface area L3 shall be calculated by using this formula. Now L3 is equal to L2 by divided by the cumulative product contact surface area of the equipment. Okay, so MACO, limit of the product A per swab area L4 shall be calculated as per the following formula. L4 is equal to L3 multiplied by swab area in centimeter square. So maximum allowable carry over limit of product A per rinse L4 shall be calculated. Then L4 rinse is equal to L3 multiplied by the area which is rinse divided by the amount of rinsing solvent. So these are few formulas. This way you can calculate the maximum allowable carry over this factor you can calculate. So these are mentioned in the master formula record, and these are as per the standard operating procedures under the cleaning validation program. Now selection of worst case related to equipment. Now what it is? Selection of worst case. Now bracketing by equipment should be done only when it is a similar equipment or the same equipment in the different size, right? So alternatively, the smallest and the largest size tank can be validated separately. The worst case for the product of the equipment is represented by the equipment which with the larger product contact surface and the hardest to clean locations. Okay, so this is the selection of worst case related to the equipment. And next is selection, next under it is based on the lowest solubility of the active ingredient and its therapeutic dose. Only one product out of a group of product processed in a piece of equipment is selected for the cleaning validation study. Now hold time study. Now what is hold time study? Hold time study, it is performed to establish basically the time limit after cleaning of the equipment and its reuse. So this is done to ensure that there is no microbial proliferation in clean equipment during storage. So for establishing the time limit, the equipment should be dried. The first thing, equipment should be dried, and initial swab samples for the surface should be taken. Number 2, and thereafter what happens, the equipment should be protected as prescribed in standard operating procedures and stored in the designated area. So then what is done? Periodic samples of the product contact surface for microbial contamination should be taken periodically, and it should be tested for the presence of any contamination. Okay, next is Selection of analytical method. So what are the basic requirements? What are the basic requirements? The first requirement is the sensitivity of the method shall be appropriate. Okay, the whatever method is used for the analytical evaluation, the method should be sensitive and reproducible. Number two, the method shall be practical and rapid, and existing equipment in the company should be employed as much as possible. Third is the method shall be validated in accordance to the ICH, USP and EP requirements. Okay. So the USP and European Pharmacopoeia requirement. The analytical development shall include a recovery study to challenge the sampling and testing methods. Now, specific the method. When we are talking about the specific method, which involves the chromatographic method such as GC/HPLC, thin layer chromatography, and specific ionometer, non-specific method like visible, infrared and UV ranges, and total organic carbon and the other method. Now we are on the very important topic, the documentation for cleaning validation program. So documentation, as we have discussed in our previous modules also, this is very important part of a validation program. Okay, so documentation means each and everything must be documented in written records. Okay, whether it is a part of your master formula records, standard operating procedures, and each and every step we take should be written and documented for the various purposes, actually, for the record only, for inspection only, and for the reproducibility of the product, for the validation and for the prospective validation. So this documentation is very important. So detailed cleaning procedure are to be documented in SOPs. The cleaning validation protocol is required to define how cleaning process will be validated. Okay, validated. How cleaning process will be validated, what all the detergent will be used, their quantities, their dose, okay, everything is mentioned. So objectives of validation. So these points basically should be presented in the document. Now what are these points? Objective of validation process, responsibilities of performing and approving the validation study, description of the equipment to be used, the number of cleaning cycles, any routine monitoring which is involved, and interval between the end product and the beginning of the procedure. What is the total time required? Now the other things which are mentioned, these are number of lots of the same product. Okay, detailed cleaning procedures to be used for each product, sampling procedures, clearly defined sampling locations, data on recovery study wherever it is appropriate, and validated analytical methods including the limit of detection, okay, and the quantitation of those methods. So all these things are documented, and the acceptance criteria, the remaining things are acceptance criteria, and the change control or the recommendations for revalidation. So all these things are mentioned, and documentation, it depends on the complexity of the procedure and component available, and hence differ in accordance with that. So next is, when cleaning procedure get complex, the documentation of key point becomes necessary. Okay, when this you can understand in a same way, just like if we stuck somewhere, if we have the written procedures, then the written procedure and the documented procedures helps us out there. Okay, so documentation should contain the history of cleaning, the residual content found, final validation report should be prepared, which will state whether the cleaning procedure has been validated or not. Revalidation shall be carried out okay, in the few conditions: change in cleaning agent, cleaning procedures, failure during routine monitoring, and when the potency of the new drug is lower as the previous worst product. Validation report. Okay, validation report, it includes validation report. It includes the summary of the reference to the procedures used to clean, physical and analytical test results, and conclusion regarding the acceptability of the results. Any recommendation based on the result or relevant information obtained during the study, including revalidation practices if applicable, okay, approval of conclusion, review, and any deviation for the protocol. Okay, now FDA requirement. FDA requirement for the cleaning validation program. So organizations have should have the written SOPs detailing the cleaning procedure used for various pieces of equipment. Okay, if the firm have a specific cleaning process for cleaning between the different batches of the same product and use a different process for cleaning, the product changes, FDA expects the written procedure. Okay, so these are requirements for FDA, because whenever there will be inspection, it may be asked, okay, that if you have introduced a new product in manufacturing, and if you have introduced another products in the ongoing the different batches, so that the procedure, the validation, cleaning validation procedure should be documented. So it may be asked. If firm have one process for removing water soluble residue and another process for non-water soluble residue, there should be a written procedure for both, in both the cases, and it should be made very clear. So it is required by FDA. So in the general validation procedures, the person responsible for performing and approving the study should comply with the acceptance criteria. FDA also expects that the firm to prepare the specific written validation protocol in advance, okay, and should conduct the validation studies in accordance, and the regulatory board should validate the final validation report. So dear students, these are the references, and I hope you have enjoyed this module, and it was about the cleaning validation. So we will quickly summarize now. So moving to summary, we have introduced the general introduction to cleaning validation, advantages, cleaning mechanisms we also discussed, and different agents which are recommended, and the detailed cleaning validation programs, different mechanisms we discussed, and we also discussed the what FDA expects regarding this cleaning validation, and what are the methods adopted, and why the documentation is required, and how to calculate the maximum allowable carry over factors. So all these things we have discussed in this module in cleaning validation. So if we summarize this module, that cleaning validation, it is a written documented evidence that gives us a high degree of assurance, basically, that the equipment, a system or a particular equipment is validated regarding the cleaning validation, and the reports and the results we get are predetermined and reproducible. That means each and everything what we are following is written and documented. So that's all for this module, dear students. I hope you have enjoyed, and this is validation part 2, in that we discuss the cleaning validation. So stay tuned for more videos, and thank you so much for watching this video.